Hi, Karen.
Yes.
I'm Sergeant Lawnecker with the Aurora Homicide Unit. We've taken Jim into custody for homicide, and I was wondering if you have a minute to speak with me.
Flight has ended up going from like $400 to $700 with all the changes.
Well, I'm sure this is not
It's been a very expensive, very...
I'm sure it's not for you.
Hopefully this is worth it. Hopefully it... sheds some light on something that's right and gets them out.
Right. Yep, there's not much.
Alrighty, let's get through some more of this James Craig evidence. James Craig, he's that deadly dentist out of Colorado. And he was a busy little bee too, because he had a wife, apparently, whom he was convicted of poisoning, unfortunately. Horrible, horrible poisoning. You know, I thought about first, do no harm. And I was thinking, do dentists have to take that Hippocratic oath? And apparently they don't. However, they are assumed to offer a standard of care that doesn't involve doing what James Craig did to his wife, the mother of his 6 children, you know, instead of just getting divorced. Okay, between March 5th, 2023 and March 21st, 2023, James Tolliver Craig unlawfully, feloniously, after deliberation, and with the intent to cause the death of a person other than himself, caused the death of Angela Craig. Okay, we got a lot of evidence to get through, so I'm doing it piecemeal so I can keep my sanity. Police arrested James Craig, the Colorado dentist, for first-degree murder of his wife Angela. He fatally poisoned her. It seems like he must have tried several things. I think he put stuff in her smoothie, and ultimately, it seems like it was this injection of cyanide that was the worst. In the wake of his arrest on March 19th, 2023, hours after Angela was taken off of life support, at least one of the women James was having an affair with, and I don't know if it's fair to call these women mistresses. I mean, you can hear their interviews. They knew he was married. One found him on that seeking.com site. This woman we're going over today, she is an orthodontist. So she met James like in Vegas, only like the month prior. She's going through a divorce herself. Hers was definitely filed, but James lied to her and told this woman, oh, I filed for divorce too. So that's why I don't know if it's quite fair to call them mistresses, but it's just easier to call them that. Anyway, investigators found this woman, Karin Cain, at a hotel. So she was actually in town because James had planned for her to come in town, sent for her, while his wife was going through this torture. So it was after 1 a.m. and James has just been arrested. We're going to get to his interview. I have to do a lot more editing. Some of these files, I'm like, I have to edit out so much stuff. I have to boost so much stuff. It's so frustrating. But they woke this woman up, Karin Cain. She was in town to see James. He was locked up. And Karin was probably stunned at first when, you know, the first detective investigator comes to her hotel room door. You know, she comes off as nonchalant though. She's definitely a lot more measured in her speaking than the woman we watched the other day. Remember that interview with Carrie Haggeseth? Oh my goodness. If you haven't watched those, but go watch hers too. She's a trip. Everyone's a trip. I don't know. I do have sympathy for these women because I think they were lied to, but especially with Carrie, she was kind of skirting the edge of, you know, what James had told her about his plans to do to Angela. Maybe not outright. He didn't tell her outright, I'm going to inject Angela with cyanide. I'm not saying that. But just that he gave all these hints, you know, if there's a purge day, you know, one woman I would purge would be Angela and blah, 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 blah. And Carrie does have guilt for not contacting the police prior to Angela's death. But anyway, James was lying to all of them, I'm sure. This woman, James, lied to Karin as well. She's less talkative. You'll find all the links below because there's all these PDFs of their text messages. These are some frustrating interviews, let me tell you. There's a 52-page PDF, Craig Arrest AFF, and that report says James had told fellow employees that his marriage was failing and he was in financial turmoil. He has also been recently communicating with a woman named Karin Cain about what appears to be a sexually intimate relationship. It appears James was flying this woman into Denver while his wife and the mother of his children was dying in the hospital. So they thought initially Karin had flown in earlier, but I think she had changed that plane ticket. You'll hear her say that coming up. James received another email from Karin for a trip that was scheduled for March 16th through the 20th, 2023 with a flight plan. So the first interview you'll see, it's a good police officer. He pulls no punches. Obviously, he talks to the front desk clerk or whomever, and he's just telling them, look, we need to get to this woman's room. You know, this man poisoned his wife. And so when he gets in there, he tells Karin, look, basically, I don't know what James told you, but this is what really happened. And Karin's probably in shock, but it's almost like she doesn't quite believe it. She apparently wants to believe what James has told her, that his wife Angela was self-destructive, was whatever. I kind of picked up that a lot in Carrie's interview too. It's like they did not want to believe that James was really this horrific monster who would sit there, let his wife ingest things or inject things into his wife. You know, I don't know if he put it in her, what do you call that thing when you're in the hospital and it's dripping? I don't know if that's where he put it or whatever. But I can understand these women wanted to believe James was this sensitive man. Did you hear the song he wrote allegedly for both of them? It's called Enough. I played it in the previous video. Again, watch that video if you haven't already. And there's a lot more coming. But the second interview with this woman, Karin, it takes place on March 20th after they've awakened her. It's so freaking frustrating, let me tell you. Because it takes place in like the hotel lobby or some public area. So you hear the Tamara show going, I love Tamara, let me tell you, but you hear the Tamara show going off. I hope it can even pass YouTube censors. I might have to cut out a lot. You hear music. Oh my goodness, you hear people rolling their suitcases by. People are flying by, and why on earth? I'm assuming investigators were invited by Karin to meet in the lobby this time instead of in her hotel room. I was like, why didn't they just go back to her hotel room? She probably maybe had even checked out because she's, you know, ready to get out of there. She's ready to get back to Texas where she lives. Of course, she didn't expect any of this. She expected James to be this heartfelt, great dentist. You know, they had a lot of explicit messages according to the investigators. But she says, no, we've only like made out. We never basically, you know, copulated, had intimate relations, because this woman Karin, she's not all into that until, you know, it's a serious relationship. But it is so annoying where it takes place. I don't know what's going to pass YouTube's. We'll see. Whatever I have to cut out or whatever, you can find the raw videos. I'll put them on Patreon for those who like all the raw stuff. Oh my goodness. But it's so annoying. It's taking place among all this noise. Some of these women's attitude, like James's mistresses, I must say, some of their attitudes kind of get to me. And again, I have so much sympathy because I know they were lied to, but you know, some of them or both of them, I believe, admit knowing he was married. You know, I have more sympathy for Karin because she's like, oh, he told me he filed for divorce. So that's a whole big lie. The other woman, Carrie, she was more on like an arrangements type of deal. And she was self-focused, but she was also a victim herself. She had some domestic situations going on. She had a lot of stuff going on in her past. She didn't trust police. So that was a lot going on there too. I try to have sympathy, but boy, listening to some of this, the heart of it, as you can tell, the police are interested in Angela. She's the real victim here, you know, but you can tell even with Karin here, she wants to believe, I believe, what James told her, that Angela was self-destructive, that, you know, she was emotionally unavailable, they didn't get along. You can tell that's what she wants to believe. It's very annoying because the investigator is trying to get all the text message conversations between Karin and James. Well, Karin's like, oh, she downloaded some report, I guess, of their text messages. She said it was like 600 pages. But this investigator notices wait, there are missing text messages that have been deleted. I don't know what's up with that. And Karen is kind of acting like, I don't know, you know? So I don't know if things were intentionally deleted. Now I get it, these women, they didn't ask to be in the middle of some murder investigation, some homicide. They didn't ask for that. I get it. Maybe that's part of the attitude where they don't want to be like, I don't want you here and the world is, here looking at all my text messages. Unfortunately, that's kind of how it plays out because police have to know everything. Their heart is like, let us get justice for Angela. This woman who was taken away from her 6 children so unfairly. So were there deleted text messages? I don't know, but the investigator has to sit there and scroll through. You'll see at the end all of this woman's text messages. There's so many of them between her and James to try and get it on record. And it's hard to hear sometimes because of that stupid loud TV. But let's see. The documents say, quote, working on starting a new life with Karin Cain. So the first cop who showed up and talked to Karen in the hotel room, he was more direct. He was like, look, basically he wanted to suss out, was she involved at all? Or was Karen the motive for, James wanting to do away with his wife, to start a new life with Karen? And so I get it, she was probably defensive. But when it comes to this stupid hotel lobby interview, hours later, towards the end, maybe you can hear it, there's a point where they're going through Karen's phone and she says something about James. She knows he's in jail. She talks about get him out, hope they get him back. So she's saying she hopes the truth will come out. So she's still believing James. I think she believes this is some misunderstanding by then. And granted, this was 2 years ago. Since then, she's been interviewed by 2020. I did see her interviewed. She talked about being just shocked, of course, being in shock, whatever the cops were going to tell her. She steeled herself to hear that info. So maybe that's part of her affect, of course. Who knows if any of us would act the same way. But you can tell 2 years ago, she didn't want to believe it yet. And now she was on 2020. I don't think the other woman was on 2020. I don't quite remember her. Maybe she was. Maybe she was on there too. Of course, people will have a different perspective 2 years later after going through trial, after he's been convicted, all of his lies come out and they see what kind of man he truly is. I give people the benefit of the doubt because time has passed too. But back then, she was saying something about, hoping the truth would come out to get James out of jail because she knows back then, initially, he didn't have a bond and then his bond was changed to a really high amount, millions. But she's saying, for his kids' sake, I hope they don't lose their mom and lose their dad too. And I don't think she was thinking of him being guilty. I'll let you watch it all. Again, I'll link to all their text messages, the raw videos for this portion. And then I'll go still work on James Craig's interview video. I'm trying to transcribe it because he speaks like a church mouse. Some of these people, they're so far away. And then he's like, oh gosh. He's like so far. It's very frustrating. I'm like, can they move the audio and the cameras closer, please? Can they not sit in hotel lobbies? I'm not blaming the investigators. I just wish they could have, come back to her room and spoken with her. And we'll go from there. I'll get this case up piecemeal. And you guys might have noticed today, I've also started experimenting with live streaming through Restream, just streaming some of my old videos. My goal was to stream and then have you guys watch that while I'm working on editing, but I was streaming and then I was in the chat talking with you guys. So thank you so much for being there and your encouragement. We will see what we can get. I will work on all this data from the James Craig case and many others, of course, we're waiting for. 2 Chronicles 31, 20 through 21. This is what Hezekiah did throughout Judah, doing what was good and right and faithful before the Lord his God in everything that he undertook in the service of God's temple and in obedience to the law and the commands. He sought his God and worked wholeheartedly, and so he prospered. Thank you so much for watching all this as usual and being so kind. And I'll just take this in pieces, get James Craig's interview up, try and improve the audio. Take care.
What's the deal with this? This guy poisoned his wife.
Do we have any PC for anything?
No,
No conspiracy.
all consensual, all just.
you guys get that card as well?
Was that?
Did you guys get that Ford Expedition?
It was his car, yeah. He came in a different car, but. Just hang back. Yeah. I mean, just stand there. We'll see shit in the sand. Hi, Karen.
Yes.
I'm Sergeant Lawnecker with the Aurora Homicide Unit. We've taken Jim into custody for homicide, and I was wondering if you have a minute to speak with me.
Yeah, dude. Can I,
Yeah, what? Get dressed, yep.
$326, can you show us at room 203?
We got a couple officers here with me.
hi.
There we go. So I don't know. Basically, obviously, I didn't find you by a miracle. We are aware of yours and Jim's relationship, and basically your emails and stuff back and forth between each other. And he's been taken into custody for killing his wife. So I don't know, obviously we consider you to be a motive for him to do that. I don't know what kind of communications he's had with you about his wife and what's been going on with her. We have noticed that you seem to come to Denver when his wife was in the hospital. And I don't know if that's just what kind of timing is, that is, or what he's telling you, or how he, you guys are setting up when you're going to come out here. So I don't know if you can shed any light on any of that.
I mean, I can show you when I bought my ticket, but I bought my ticket a couple of weeks ago, probably. So
Yeah,
the timing was set before she went into the hospital.
But you come out here twice. And you come out here on the 8th, stay till the 10th.
I had a ticket for the 8th that I changed to.
You didn't come out here then?
No.
Okay.
I had Southwest, so it was free to change.
Okay.
So I just changed the dates to the 16th.
So this is the first time you've come out here?
Mm-hmm.
How did you meet him?
At a meeting, dental meeting in Las Vegas.
Okay. Did you, was this, I don't want to get too personal, but is this like something he was telling you was a serious relationship? Did you consider it to be a serious relationship?
We shared a lot of, personal information kind of quickly, just like history and, kind of, but we haven't been physically intimate or that kind of thing.
What did he tell you has been going on with his wife?
Just that he said he told her in November that he wanted a divorce. They told the kids together in December. He filed in January, early February, something. And then when we got back from the meeting, I know he said, I'm going to sit down with her tonight. We're going to start to talk about just about the kids, about how things are going to look during mediation, things like that. And that she had said that she probably was going to move back to where her family is, and just they had been just kind of talking about what things were going to look like. He said, he did tell me when they talked that night, I'm kind of worried that she might hurt herself. So we've had a history of that.
What night was that?
That would have been the night. Well, he had said that probably even before that, but I feel like he said that the night that they talked about whether or not she was gonna keep living here with the kids or move the kids to Utah, and he was worried about, neither of them really wanted the kids to move back to Utah and all that. So that would have been, I don't know, somewhere around 1st of March.
Did he talk to you at all about why she was in the hospital?
Just told me that the girls said she was acting strange, and we actually just had this conversation a couple days ago. I was like, okay, well that makes, because I didn't know about her history of attempting suicide. And I said, well, that makes a lot of sense why you jumped right to taking her to the hospital when she was just kind of acting weird. Like, to me, it was
He explain that to me again. He said she was acting weird.
said the girls
Meaning the kids.
to say, Mommy, well, Mom's not feeling well, and she's not getting up, or she's laying down, and you can see it's complex.
Have you? I know you're a dentist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Has he talked to you at all about poisons?
Just told me that she had gotten some stuff in the past from his work, and that's why he had reversals. And I'm an orthodontist, and so I don't have a DEA number. I don't do any prescribing, so I don't know the names of anything.
Explain that to me more, though. That she got drugs from his office. Like he got her drugs from the office?
No, he said when she had attempted in the past that he would have to figure out what it was that she took so that he could reverse it. And I was like, well, where would she get this stuff? And he said, well, she had taken stuff. She used to work at his practice, I guess, and she had taken stuff out of the safe, or I don't know how they store the meds in the practice, but whatever their storage.
Did he say what kind of drugs she took?
He just said it was either opiate or something else, but and he may have said like an actual name, but not that I. Not that I knew.
How long have you known him?
Him, we met on the February 23rd.
February 20, just last month.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you communicate with him mostly?
Text.
How have you been communicating with him since we've got his phone these last few days?
His daughter's
Phone?
phone.
Okay. And what do you know his email address says? So you have not been sexually intimate with him?
Mm-hmm.
What was the purpose of some of those text exchange or email exchanges then? Because they're very sexually explicit.
What was the purpose of them?
I mean, I guess I find it hard to believe that he would send something like that to you without having some kind of sexual relationship with you.
I mean, there's been physical intimacy to some degree, but we haven't had intercourse.
Okay. So, I mean, it's like from your standpoint, were you considering this just kind of getting to know him kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
Not like, I mean, he wasn't telling you he's going to marry you or anything like that over.
No, yeah.
Okay.
It's
Has
just,
he come down to Austin?
no.
Okay. Are you married?
We filed for divorce in November.
Okay.
It's not final.
Do you still live together?
No, he moved out last year.
Okay. Has he talked to you at all about buying cyanide?
No.
Any other poisons? Anything like that? Okay. How long was the conference in Vegas?
Thursday through Saturday.
Okay. And when he met you first time in Vegas, did he tell you he was married?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. But he told you about filing and all that, right?
Not the first day I met him, but in that weekend, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so here's basically where we're at. He's never told her he wants a divorce. He's never told her there's no talk of him moving out with the kids. She has no idea anything about a divorce. He's purchased poisons, and she's now dead because of poisons. So he is in jail for first-degree murder. He's not getting out. There's no bond. He will be in jail. So a lot of the things he's told you, assuming you've told me the truth, are all nonsense. There's no history of suicide by her. There's no anything. We have text messages between the two of them for going way back. There's no talk of anything. The only talk of a suicide is him drugging her so that he could kill himself and she couldn't wake up and stop him. And that's confirmed from him talking to her on text messages. So this would be if he disclosed anything about buying poison, about trying to kill her, about trying to do things so that he could be with you or anything along those lines. You know, we don't want to find something or he's going to tell us that you're in on this or you got him poisons through your office or, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. No, he's never said. I mean, he even said he had a conversation this evening with his son because his son found the reversal agents that he's had because he's had to reverse her.
He had that little bottle like this of Narcan. We don't know what that is.
One he said that his son had found. It was a flumazole.
Well, Narcan doesn't do anything for cyanide poisoning. So, I don't know what he's talking about. Basically, he's lying to you. That I'm very, very confident about. So that's kind of, well, is where this is at. So he's, like I said, he can't bond. He will be able to make phone calls at some point. Obviously, all of his family, no one knows about you. They all think this is some tragedy that she got sick and died, and that they were doing just fine. There was no indication from any of the kids when they spoke with DHS that from the kids that there was any marital problems, that there was anything wrong with mom, that mom was, suicidal, nothing like that. None of the kids, and some of them are adults, all the way down through, mentioned anything about anything with mom. So, unfortunately, I think he's told you a very elaborate story, of which probably most of it, if not all of it, is nonsense. Obviously, we wouldn't take him into custody if we weren't confident about what we've seen so far and what we found. I wouldn't have found you at this hotel if we didn't know all this stuff that's been going on. So, I'm going to give you my card. I don't know obviously if you have questions for me, feel free to ask me. I would, actually, I still got you here. What's your birthday, man? I'm coming from a cop.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess basically my only concern from your standpoint, from, a criminal thing, is that even if you mentioned poisons or anything you can think about with poisons or anything like that.
Nothing
Obviously.
other than that you guys had been looking for poisons. You had gone through the house because you were.
And what did he think about that?
He's like, the truth will come out, and so I'm not worried about it. And he hasn't seemed stressed and anxious and concerned that anything was going to come of.
Has he been upset or acting upset at all with his wife passing away?
Tonight? Oh, yeah. He does bedtime routine with the girls, and he tucks them in, talks to them about what were good things and bad things about your day. And so sometimes I'll sit on speaker and just listen to how he interacts with them, which has been part of how I've really not ever really questioned anything that he's said to me. I mean, when I listen to him interact with his kids, it's like there's an obvious good relationship, connection. They don't have any hesitancy around him. They're super, I don't know.
And honestly, we don't see anything but the kids. Everything seems.
It doesn't seem like
both the kids
has that going in them is gonna. Kids can sense when there's.
True.
My dad's done a whole hell of a lot less than that, and I have a little hesitancy with my dad. So anyway, he didn't have any fear or anxiety surrounding the investigation. But just tonight he was broken up, talking about his wife and praying for her, and I don't know, nothing that makes me feel like it's an abnormal reaction to what's going on.
Right.
But in light of having filed for divorce,
we don't show, like I said, we don't have any record of anything about a divorce. Nothing. None of the church people are aware of any kind of divorce. None of his family have made it clear to anything with divorce. None of the text exchanges between him and his wife talk about divorce or kids or where we're going to move or anything like that at all. And we have his texts back to at least through February 16th, I believe, at this point. There's no discussion of a divorce at all that I'm aware of, at least at this point. So, you know, I'm just giving you this information for your own kind of sanity. That's about it. I don't know how long you're going to stay here before you
I
go.
don't either. I'm supposed to fly back Monday night, but
Monday night, okay. He will be able to call you, but he's not going to be able to get out of jail. He's going to get transferred down to Arapahoe County Jail, which I don't know if you're familiar with the Denver area. It's not far from here on Arapahoe Road. And he would have visitation. I don't know if he'll get down there tomorrow or Monday morning. But, you know, depending, I don't know what your plans are with him and reaching out to him and talking to him, but it'll have to come through a phone call or some kind of visitation over at the jail.
okay.
All right.
Okay.
Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. But, I mean, the real victim here is his wife. Big time. So, all right. You got my card if you think of anything or you got any questions.
Nobody, I mean, because he told me he had specifically requested a tox screening on her because of his concern.
It's because he knew that the poisons he used wouldn't show up.
You're suspecting cyanide, and cyanide doesn't show up on
Suspecting arsenic, I'm suspecting cyanide.
a tox screening.
We've got all of his search history for Google on him planning this whole thing out. It's a lot. I mean, obviously you got to take my word for it right now, but I mean, it's over the top. A lot.
And that stuff, the hospital over a 4-day period wouldn't
It's a good question.
come up with
That's a
something
good
around
question. Well, when she showed up, they knew fairly quickly. They were informed that it could be a poisoning. And from a police standpoint, we just don't get medical records. We have to get them through subpoenas and stuff like that. So it takes us a little bit of time to verify what the hospital knew, because the hospital doesn't tell us with HIPAA and everything else.
Because, I mean, he wasn't even home when he was at work when she went down again after they had sent her back. Right? I mean, they sent her home. If that's part is true, if that's real information, I understood she went home and was released. And then while he was at work, I guess her brother had come into town, and when it all went down again, downhill, and he wasn't even around.
Yeah, I mean, you know, maybe if you talk to him, he'll have an explanation. I can just tell you from a police standpoint, that's why I'm standing here, and that's why he's in jail. Okay? All right, man. Take care of yourself.
Hi, good morning. Yes, meet you, I'm Karen.
Nice.
Nice to meet you, I'm Karen.
No, it's fine.
So when you talk to Sergeant Long, like yes, in your email, obviously it sounds like it's additional information. Again, like I said, anything and everything, right? Like we want to know the truth, and our goal is, never to put someone in jail that didn't do what we're claiming, right? And so I'm 100% willing to look into the things that he said and try to verify those, and and vet them, right? And see if that's what happened and what occurred, and then see what we can figure out from there. So I know your first name's Karin. It's with an I, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And your last name's Cain. And what's your birthday? And so I think on the emails you don't know the girls' names or the females from Bible study.
No, and it was couples. It was a couples thing. He said, and he I'm sure said names, but
okay, you don't remember. Okay, and I can contact the church. It's just kind of the more information I have.
All I kind of know in that is like some sort of a timeline. Being maybe about 5 years ago, maybe, because I know. Well, I had to. I feel pretty certain that he brought up 5 to 6 years ago was when it was really the most difficult time in dealing with her emotional things, and so it must have been within the last 5 years, I would think.
Okay.
If that was something she was sharing.
And did they continue in that same couples Bible study group?
I don't know anything about how long that went on or anything. I just know he had mentioned that there were a couple of different people who would know, would be able to kind of say. And then again, like I said, with therapy and things like that, I don't know if there's somebody that counseled with them that would also know something more about that.
And they could, however, obviously therapy is something that is guarded even more than like HIPAA. And
I thought maybe in a situation like this, some of those things came down.
Yeah, and it's one of those like attorneys, therapy, or therapists, psychotherapists. Really, that's like
it's all locked in.
a real patient. Like we can get a warrant to get medical records, but really stuff like that is unless kind of. So I guess that's why I was kind of trying to find, anybody that she did reach out to you.
I know, and I think that's such an issue because if this is the thread of truth, then I feel like that's such a key piece, obviously, is kind of getting that information, and I feel like they did really guard that, and and so it is going to be in those kind of places of real shelter, like a group study that's a small group, or the therapy and things like that, from just knowing the religious background.
Are you LDS or?
I'm not.
Okay.
No.
I just didn't
understanding.
We're both kind of on the.
But I am, very active in my faith and in my church and things like that. So
it's just a different
understanding too. Some just general.
The
way generally people deal when they're a religious person.
Well, and especially
in a
LDS faith.
But then I know there's a lot more in that. In that.
Okay. So
I wish, but for whatever reason, I don't have any kind of name or any greater detail on that. Although I'm sure Jim would. I don't know. That's just not something that
he won't talk to us. So, and that's his right. And so it's kind of just trying to figure out and follow up and again help him as much as I can as well. Right? Like that's not my goal. If she wasn't really responsible for this, it's not my goal to. I mean, this is just a traumatic and unbelievable kind of event, and obviously the children are.
I mean, obviously, my hope is that I'm right and that they don't lose. A mom and a dad,
Yeah. No, I agree. So, and that's why I asked to talk to you, and right now it kind of appears that maybe you're the only person that kind of knows. We've talked to a lot of our friends and a lot of family, and no one's told us anything as far as her mental
Yeah,
health
he did
not being
say,
good.
you know, as her family and sisters were coming in, I mean, he said he was so surprised that Tony, in particular, didn't know what was going on in their marriage, because he said that's the sister that she's the closest to, and he really thought, but he did say he had a conversation with the brother that came in earlier in the week, and that he also didn't know, but I guess they discussed it.
Jim discussed with Mark.
The brother, yeah, I'm not sure
Oh, okay.
his name, but
Okay.
yeah, the brother that was first here that came and actually, in my understanding, took to the hospital.
Yeah. And yes, Mark drove Angela to the hospital, and then Jim met her there. So the news media, and I think actually our PIO's office actually put it out that Jim drove her there. I know that's not be correct. I know that Mark drove her there. I can only control what information is relayed and
Well, I don't
and
think
how
it
it's put
matters
out.
what's
So,
out there. It just matters what you guys know.
yeah, so just so you know that is
Yeah.
an inaccurate statement.
Okay, well, that's comforting.
And that I do know, just for that clarifying piece. And then I guess the apartment, do you know, I think you said, can you pull up your
Calhoun
apartment?
is when I look at the map, because I just know, like, all I know of Denver, right, is from Fairfield, and I, like, picked him up somewhere in his neighborhood
Okay,
once or twice, and so I know in that reroute, so that's where the apartment is.
okay,
He had said a friend had been having some troubles at home and had been staying in it the last, week or so. He had just kicked him out, asked him to go because he was going to need it for family and coming in and things like that. And so that was one of the questions Honecker had asked
okay.
as to why.
How many times have you been here?
This is the only time. So Honecker reminded me I had a ticket for the 8th, and because that was my original timeline to come down and visit for the first time. Because we just met, mid-February.
Okay.
Yeah.
In Vegas?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
He's a speaker for a dental company, and I'm an orthodontist, and it was a combined meeting for this dental company that has their hands in different arenas. So anyway, we just met standing in a line waiting for the dinner at the event. But and then just had text and phone calls, and then I just wanted to get together again. And so that was going to be on the 8th, and it ended up I was going to come in after work on the 8th and have to leave on the 10th because my son was flying in for spring break, and so it was like that's going to be a super short and not super cheap trip. So hey, I've got the end of spring break, and so it was like, why don't I just wait a little extra week later? So I had switched the ticket to the 16th.
Okay.
And
so
then
you didn't come that.
all that.
Okay.
Do I even come now?
So you switched the ticket to the 16th, to the 20th. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And then, you didn't come in the 16th?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I got here, rented a car.
Did you take that original flight that you had booked the 16th? Or did you reschedule that? Do you recall?
Actually, I may have. I think I did reschedule it. I think I came in earlier on the 16th, and I was going to a couple hours earlier, maybe.
Okay. So you did come in on
Yeah,
the 16th.
I did, because I was so worried about everything's been so delayed, and I was anxious to be here. And I was like, well, if I book a 5 p.m. flight,
And then you were staying at the Fairfield in Southland.
yeah, and he booked that room
Okay. And then
for me.
did you drive to his house, or where did you pick him up at?
Well, let's see, on the 16th, I went straight to the hotel, And I was just there for a long time, you know. He obviously had a lot of stuff going on, so I was just kind of like, I don't want to be an extra burden. I just want to be here if you need, you know, to unwind and distract, really. And so I think, yeah, maybe I think on the 16th he said, hey, do you want to pick me up? And like dropped a pin somewhere. He had walked away from the house somewhere, so I wasn't picking him up at his house.
Somewhere in.
Obviously, the kids don't know. That was me.
But you had never been to his house before, right?
No, and then after I picked him up, I don't even know if that day, but somewhere in the weekend, he was like, that's my house. And I recognized he had sent me a picture of the front door getting, you know, all decorated for his daughter.
Or whatever that's called.
For her birthday. And so I was like, oh, there's the door.
Okay. And then you picked him up in the neighborhood. And then is this kind of and do you know where his house was, or did you? Right up there. So do you know? Can you screenshot that, and then she can draw on it, right?
Can you make the map between the two places?
His house, and then basically there's the Fairfield.
So.
I can go back to the map if need be.
So there's the Chick-fil-A.
So I want to say, though, yeah, because I came this way and then would take that left, take a right at a stop sign, right?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, because I remember the right and quick left, and I wanted to say it felt like
and this
that
is a
area.
huge campus.
Yeah.
It's a really big high school campus.
Yeah, so I would have been, right? I feel like this was
Would it help if I go to the map?
route, but maybe I did this. No, there wasn't another left. It was.
It could have. I mean, you could have gone this way.
Where's the? There's a. So I would take a. I guess that wouldn't really matter, but I would take a left, like right after the clubhouse. There's like a big grand clubhouse and stuff. Yeah, first right towards the house.
Did you go past the church? Did they show you where the church was?
Mm-mm.
So there's the big lake house,
Okay.
if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, look at that. Okay, yeah. So this seems like maybe, because it had the little loop-de-loop to his house. That's his house?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I just did that. That's what it was, because it was
Oh,
the little,
Oh, sure.
you know what I
that
mean?
one, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so I think, this is kind of my feeling, is like in this area after kind of getting into the, or even maybe here after you went over the busier road.
Do you remember? So, honestly, the only apartments I can really think of was there. It's kind of by there's like a cell phones mall, and that's kind of where you were staying at. And there's
this place.
right off.
So you have apartments here,
And then because there's like the cell phones mall, and then there's like
And then-
Sam's Club.
here, and here.
Yeah.
In between your route that you're explaining that you took.
Okay, well, I felt like that was pretty far off because it was definitely, if there were here, it'd be that. I don't recognize school right there.
And you
But,
may not, if you took this route, probably
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily see
Oh,
the
okay.
school.
But yeah, so it would have for sure been before the.
Okay.
I just don't know which side of North Lawn it would have been on.
So because there's apartments kind of across. This would kind of be
On
kitty.
the right.
So are they
from
closer, kind
my-
of to the? So they're kind of kitty corner from your hotel, kind of by the Sam's Club and Walmart.
I didn't feel like they were close to the hotel, but closer to the house. And maybe that's just because it was a few turns, you know.
Okay. So not kind of
It
kitty
was
corner.
It was definitely
to-
you know after the hider on the Calhoun
Okay.
turn.
Yeah. Most likely.
Oh, and then that's Calhoun, right? Because that's what you said. It was
Yeah,
Calhoun or Calhoun.
yeah. I do feel like
So
it was
based
for
on
sure
her
after
route that she's talking
that.
about going, it could potentially be
I feel like it's
there,
on
there.
Calhoun somewhere.
or there.
Okay.
Those are going to be the only apartments
Only-
along that route.
Right. And so yeah, it was off like that road because I think that's what you said.
Yeah, and it was
Calhoun.
right on. I mean, just on the right side. Well, going to the house on the right side.
Okay. And then I think you mentioned, so when did you come back from Vegas, or what was that Vegas trip?
23rd, February 23rd through the 25th. So we left on Saturday. We left on Saturday, 25th.
Okay. And then he had said that he filed for divorce. Do you recall?
He told me he had filed in February, earlier in February. If I remember correctly. Those are verbal conversations, so I haven't been able to like.
And
I
then
could be confusing that with my own because I had mediation February 9th, but it was after the first of the year though.
okay,
I know.
or after. Or after the first of the year. Okay. And then I guess in your email, he had said, I think that was on the 28th, that they had those discussions about kids and what they were
Yeah,
going to do.
the first one I think they had because he had said when I get home I'll have the girls and so I'll be pretty quiet because we'll do all our Sunday stuff and then I think she was back so it seemed I mean like you know I was interacting he you know, sometimes have me on speaker and just, you know, letting me kind of hear the dynamic between him and his kids, which just helped me to kind of know a little bit more who he was, right? So yeah, I really feel pretty confident, you know, that she wasn't there for those days. But then there was a time we were on the phone and he was like, oh, I'm nervous that she's going to be there when I pull up from work because she's probably going to be at home packing. She was going on some ancestry, you know, trip for that. Because that was a thing that she enjoyed. And so
that speakerphone conversation, and I think that's what you had said, so you know she wasn't there, was on the 28th. Is that what you recall?
yeah, I went back through our text, and the 28th was the little quote that I sent you of, okay, this is kind of how our conversation went tonight, and that she was there to pack, or was it just like a dinner, a family dinner? No, so I think that was, kind of her getting ready, because I think then the next day is when she would have left for her.
Okay. And then, so your understanding is she was gone the 1st through the, you know?
No. But I think I put that in my email to you though, right? Like, because then there wasn't, he didn't ever mention like interacting with her again until I think maybe, was it the 7th that she got back? Somewhere, it was pretty, no, maybe it was like on a Sunday.
Over 34 years and 100,000 customers later, Don's Garage Doors is still in Chicago and Denver. Don's a repair full replace any garage door.
28. Sorry, I went through all the
Customer ratings on
Oh, that's fine.
texts. I kind of tried to string that timeline together last night.
$149 tune-up special. And it's those rollers Don's Garage Doors. Garage door personally.
I guess I didn't put it in there.
Okay, but you know she left on the 1st out of town, right?
Yeah, that's
Came back the 6th or the 7th, you think?
I'm sure I can figure it out. It just would take me a little while.
And I guess what was your conversations, I guess, during kind of that time, the 1st to the 5th?
While she was out of town?
Yeah. I mean, anything?
I mean, you have them all, right? Oh, because the long record was said that y'all had
We have,
gone through all the.
I guess, yes, we have your emails,
Oh,
and some text messages, but they're definitely pieces that are deleted.
oh, there's nothing to leave on mine. And I downloaded them. I was, and then some didn't, I noticed some didn't download, even though they were still here, didn't show up on my desktop. But, so if there's any help in that.
Yeah, but I mean, if you could send me that download, I mean, that would be definitely helpful. And or I'm just taking like screenshots of text messages.
Yeah. Okay, so
It's a great time to showcase that. Absolutely. We've been talking to the guys here. Andreas, you got a microphone here. Yeah. What's it like to be part of this group and to be performing in front of a national audience?
I mean, there's just so much that's like,
It seems like he's a long writer. Is that
very, he is an emotional person, which I'm like, okay, I guess that can be a,
Yeah.
either way thing, but it's just, I don't know, definitely is like to piece together when you see the way he deals with the kids, with the, it's just, yeah, so that's right then, the 5th, right? Is that what you're thinking?
Yes.
Oh yeah, because because I'm on the 6th and she's not feeling well.
Yes.
Just finished up for tonight. That was at 2:30 a.m. on the 6th. So
Okay.
yeah,
And then he's telling you she's not feeling well.
and then he texted me from work. We were just texting back and forth at work, and he was like, "Hey, super important aside. Kid said Ange wasn't feeling well, went to lie down. I couldn't get her to respond. She said she felt dizzy and has blurred vision. I came home and been doing homeschool with the girls, but she looks super pale. I'm going to take her to urgent care. She had some pre-workout drink this morning and rode her bike hard for about a half hour. I thought maybe she was just tired, but this is something more. Just FYI.
Okay. And then, I mean, really, like you said, I mean, we're just trying to get background as far as who would be able to verify kind of her mental state.
Yeah.
And then when
Because, I
did
mean,
you
there's
say
no
that-
question how she died. I mean, the only...
So is there, like, I guess, what was their communication as far as, like, she did this to herself? I guess, when did that come into play?
Well, okay,
Or that maybe
so...
she didn't do it. Whatever,
Right.
how did that transpire?
Update vitals are good. She can respond. It says everything feels super heavy and slow. Can't really walk. Cranial nerves test fine. I don't think it was a stroke. Waiting on blood work and EKG. Weird. And then at one point he says, "Are you thinking what I'm thinking about this situation?" And I thought maybe she was faking it because she was, you know, trying to reach out, whatever. So, when you say, and so I replied, well, when you say that you're seeing her pale, then that really quiets the voice in my head. He said, I don't think we're thinking the same thing. I think she tried to hurt herself. I said, oh no, I wasn't thinking that, but I did think that initially, but maybe move away from that thought. Are they doing toxicology? I said, I can't think of what she may have done that would result in these kinds of symptoms. Are you with her? Yeah, I am. I don't know if the blood work involves toxicology or not. She didn't want me to take her to the hospital initially, though. And then it was just make sure, I guess, thanks for saying that. Maybe you should have a private conversation with someone. He said, I just did. They took her for a CAT scan, and when they left with her, I asked the nurse to do a drug screening. She said they are, so that's good. She did say that some of her blood work has already come back and it looks good, so I don't know what that means.
So when did the conversations about kind of this 5-6 years ago?
That really, he swears that he talked to me about that earlier, which could be true. My memory is super not. But yeah, he texted me about the Brandon McElroy from their church that, you know, oh, he just sat down with me and helped me think of so many things that I know. And this was like after she passed, things that I wouldn't have thought about. And, you know, it's reminding me I need to do this, this, and this. And life insurance was in that string of thought. And I was like, oh, is life insurance going to change if this is, you know, self-inflicted? And he said, no, I got a policy that doesn't have that, that has an exclusion for that due to our history. And so in my mind, I was like, should have been in that, because so when I was here face to face, I was like, so what does that mean, our history,
Right,
you know?
right, yeah.
And he said, well, you know, I told you that I've had to, she's tried to commit suicide a few times, and I've had to reverse her. And he said, I'd come home and I just have to look in the trash, or I, you know, have to try to figure out what she's taken, because apparently it's been more than opiates, and I'm super not a drug person. So I don't have a DEA number, so I don't ever prescribe as an orthodontist, so I don't know any of the, again, names and pharmacology terms. But he said, you know, he had the Narcan, and I think another one that sounded something like Flumazole, or, you know, as reversal agents that he actually kept. And I'm like, well, how would she get something like that? He said, well, she'd get them out of the drug cabinet at my office. And so, and then that's where he was saying, you know, that was like 5 or 6 years ago. And so he specifically had a exclusion on that
On her policy.
because of that. So what else were you asking that I feel like I skipped over something?
So he told you about that once he got here with his conversation with Brandon. Okay. and that about kind of that she had. And so in this couple Bible study is kind of when you think she reached out and or confessed or confided in
Right.
these people kind of about her mental health
Yeah.
at that time. Is that
Yeah.
correct? And about her attempts?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I guess I can't think of anything else. So when you downloaded them, not all of them showed up. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I was kind of having to go back. I was trying to go back through and write in ones that had gotten deleted because they were still on my phone. It was weird because
Okay.
they were showing on my phone but not showing on the download.
Okay. Would you be okay if I took pictures of them?
Of
The text messages?
like those specific ones, or it's like you'd never be able to see. It ended up being like 600 and something pages when I downloaded it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how that's formatted, but
Do you know which ones are missing from that download?
no, I was just, it's a pretty painstaking process. And my kids were home for spring break, so I wasn't sitting down and doing it. I just kind of started in on it
Okay.
at the beginning of the spring break week. So no, I had just kind of gotten through like the first couple of days or something.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean,
Just trying
a
to
lot
figure
of
out
what
how-
I'm telling you too was verbal conversations. But
How did he tell you, or did he call you and tell you that she had passed away, or what?
no, it was on the text. Well, I mean, he did call also, but not until yeah, after like
And what did
that's
he
when
say?
was driving home.
What had happened?
The last time,
Yeah, when she passed.
so I'm going. I haven't prepped. The rest of my day is rescheduled. And I can be with the kids or be at the hospital or whatever I need to do. And then he called me. He said, I'm a mess. This is so hard to navigate. I said, what's happening? He said, feelings. I'm divorcing a woman who's the mother of my children who seems to be trying her hardest to die. She said, it's making me feel super, super guilty. And then he sent me that she had crashed and they had intubated her and that her blood pressure was like really low, like 3 p.m.
The picture?
Mm-hmm. And this is just the update about 45 minutes later. No brain activity. They want to do a CT scan, but she's too unstable. Too unstable to even put on the ventilator. Pupils unresponsive. This is a nightmare.
Okay. Can I take a picture of those, I guess?
What?
Take the first step by coming to see us. Give us a call today.
So, is there like a date, like, so is that on,
Oh, the date?
yeah, or is that kind of,
Beginning of that day.
so there was still a lot, obviously, already that day. And then, so that's JT's, that's,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Can you click? Can I just click on that and just see that phone number? Or
Oh yeah, yeah.
just to, confirm that it's his phone?
Yeah, he didn't want his girls, so it's not his phone number. It's a Google
Voice.
text.
I guess. And then, yeah, maybe just this day. Is that okay?
Yeah. There's a lot that's not.
Everybody has it, right? The beautiful thing is that they all put their stories to paper. Fantastic information and
Pictures.
on the world romances that sweep us off our feet and real life stories that millions of people can't turn away from. Well, today's edition of Let's Get Lit, we're bringing you everybody is talking about and some newly discovered ones. And for the first time ever, we have 3 Let's Get Lit book clubs joining us. It's a big show.
What time's your flight?
Was that 3:45? I think I moved to. That's so many flights in the last. I've changed this one now. This flight has ended up going from like $400 to $700 with all the changes.
Well, I'm sure this is not
It's been a very expensive, very.
I'm sure it's not what you
dramatic, we'll say,
expected.
trip.
And then do you have the ones from the first day? Hello?
And security lately's been really hit or miss. Yeah.
People here were telling me that there's like apparently been a big uproar that everyone's super mad at the Denver TSA because they've been missing flights and flights aren't waiting.
Well,
And
I picked somebody up week before last, and the line for the main, I guess the south security gate
yeah,
was wrapped up to baggage claim. But then that
well, and see, then I was leaving at like 4 a.m. or I was going to get there at 4:30 a.m. So I was like, well, that'll be better now.
But then I dropped somebody
Maybe.
off Friday morning, and they went through in 15 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So I was kind of hoping since it's Monday, like maybe a lot of people would have cleared out yesterday. Because I tried to book a flight for yesterday. I tried to just move it up to yesterday after I long neck girl. And there was nothing available. Like they were all booked. So I was like, well, maybe. And there was still, some options for today.
Right.
So maybe it won't be, at least not the insanity of yesterday. Maybe it'll still be pretty wild. Because I guess they were saying it's still spring break. But that would be more people coming, I would think, than leaving on a Monday. So,
Yeah, it should be leaving since they
because
do it.
Texas spring break was last week. So,
Well, in Colorado's, part of Colorado's was last week. Some thinks this week. Who knows?
yeah.
It doesn't make
Did I read on one of the things that he goes to court today?
that I do not know. He might have his first appearance today.
Like said that. I mean, like we said though, with the media, you don't really
Yeah. And generally it's just a first appearance. It's more administrative stuff than anything. It's generally what the first appearance is.
the other night, and I'm trying to inhale, exhale, but I'm trying
So I guess it's a good thing though that I'll be able to get there at least 3 hours before my flight.
Yes.
So I got nothing better to do but go sit in the airport.
take their book clubs with the symbol themselves. Here we have people being bookish, you know, and they're hanging out.
Thank you. So there we go. We have like I think 3 separate call-outs this weekend, so it's just been. So did you get kind of to that first day?
Oh, what was I
The
doing?
6th, or kind of what he said that he was when she got sick, that she
Oh,
had a
first day of.
yeah.
It'll take me a while again.
Yeah,
To wait for everything
to load. Yeah, that's fine.
like you saw.
That's fine.
It happens a layer experience with them as well.
And then like that translates in the book. That's the difference. It's not always like this sweeping like hot air balloon moment. It's like, oh, you remembered something that she said.
I'm on Monday.
27 chapters ago.
That's good.
Circle, and that's
Sunday.
Listen, you have satisfied.
Yeah, so Longnecker had said something about that there was a clear motive, which I was also a little bit unsure of, because when he was in my room on Sunday morning, he said something about me being motive. So I was like, if you're tying those together, I definitely don't think that's clear motive, because we, you know, he knew from me that I wasn't, there's a lot of talk in here about boundaries, right? Because that was important to me.
As far as
Physically, physical intimacy. I mean,
okay.
there's clearly, we had, you know, we didn't make out good, but there wasn't any having sex or anything like that until we were both, you know, officially out of, these other relationships. And so, and I mean, I have, my next mediation is set for the end of April, and so it was like, it's not, you know, and even then it was like, I'm not saying that I want to remove that boundary as soon as we're divorced either. I mean, to me, that's for a relationship with commitment
Right.
longer than that. So anyway, I just don't feel like there was anything so set with me that there was like some sense of urgency or like, you know, I mean, you know, just both of us had kind of come from people that really were kind of closed off and not emotionally open, emotionally intimate people, and so that was kind of where we connected, is just a lot of sharing and things like that. This is Wednesday. So is Wednesday that you're looking for?
Yeah. I guess that I think you said that she worked
So-
out hard or something.
Oh, no, this must be. So this was.
She went back in the hospital that night.
So when did she go the first one? Like you
I think it was the
were looking
6th.
for the one. Oh, that's what you wanted?
Yeah, or I think because then
Okay.
that's what he said. I think you read it. You were
Oh,
like,
I thought you said Wednesday.
she.
Yeah, I think you're right, because we said the 5th. She's back.
So I'm sorry, the 6th would have been Monday. And then the 8th, that Wednesday, would have been when she got sick again. And then went to the hospital.
Okay, so then it would have been first thing on the 6th, because it was the conversation. Were you looking for the conversation we had about them talking over divorce stuff, or her going to? Okay.
Oh, that was the same. Or no, that was that before. I don't. Whenever that was.
Women's hand designer shoes, and even scheduling withdrawals between.
So
And now
this is where he said, just finished for tonight, too tired to keep going. It went well, update you in the morning. Sorry, text late. Jim couldn't sleep much. Last night we talked, Mom was supposed to me about the kids. So
Okay, and that's on
looking for
the
that?
morning of the 6th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so then that day, because then that day, then he texts you later
So
and
this
said,
is the 2:38 a.m. on the 6th, and then later. So that was why he felt like maybe she had done this, because it had kind of been on the heels
of this conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Telling the story with also the worry that your kids will carry
might be
the
mad.
mistakes
Share
and
some of
the
that with
rebounds of your life.
Some of that, because then he's like, she wants to take the kids to Utah, which neither of us want to do. Neither of them wanted their kids to grow up in Utah. I don't know if that would be embarrassing for him to say.
You know, they're my life, they're my heart.
Well, I mean, they live here and not in Utah, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of a.
But at the time,
But it was more like why they didn't want that was just because they didn't want them. I don't know, and then it just kind of bashes some of the LDS a little bit. You know what I mean? Like growing up in Utah.
You know, they were
Not bashes
all
them,
of that. So I went to treatment because I was concerned about
Yeah, so that's when the kids reached out.
Okay.
You know, as far as the story that I wrote about, they have now grown up in a sober home. They know my story. You know, they're proud of me. They are
At the time, you write about your divorce and life after marriage. Again, you're a powerful Hollywood figure. You said, I've been blaming the demise of my marriage and my addiction, which blew up spectacularly this year. But if I'm being honest, we've been unhappy for longer than that. I feel as though I've been hanging onto a window ledge for the past 2 years, and now my fingers are starting to slip. All this time I've been so terrified of the fall that I haven't even dared think about where I might land.
Yes. Yes.
There's so many things in this book from the marriage.
I mean, I'm taking pictures, but I'm trying to get to like.
A Hollywood wife is. A lot of folks will see this book and they'll see the real life of a Hollywood wife, addiction and glamour, and they will think Val lived it all. The white blonde woman,
It's funny
is a Hollywood.
how comical that was.
And you've experienced
Sent that.
breaking down this.
And I guess I'm not. I mean, I guess I didn't. What was the conversation before that? Like, or were you just talking
This?
about?
You mean when he says this?
Yeah.
Because he said somewhere,
I think because you guys were talking about toxicology.
maybe here,
Or how much money
she still thinks I did this to her. It's so frustrating.
This very, very idyllic life that I lived.
So yeah, you mean that? Like where did
Where did the
started
drugging
something
coming
like
from? Yeah.
That was brought up after my kids were born, which is not
You took
everybody's
it
story.
because it would have been just right before that.
Before their kids were born. And you know, it looked like the life I'd always dreamed of. But yet I was dying on the inside. And you know, that quote that you read, I wrote that especially because I have so many friends who are staying in their marriages and they don't know why anymore. I have so many. And I'm not saying I live for marriage. I love love. You know, if there is a way to stay in your marriage and be in love and be happy, do it.
Yeah.
But if it's not, if you're not happy, if you're just enduring, then that's something to take a look at.
It reads like a movie with thankfully a fairy tale ending.
Yes.
Your mom with her children, and they are proud of you. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's so compelling and powerful. We wanted to share it with everyone in the audience.
Texas, I'm guessing, is clearly more green than it is here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's actually spring there. Apparently today's the first day of spring.
Yeah, I wish we'd jumped to spring.
I know, I forgot my jacket at home, and I'm like, I'm over this. I'm over needing a jacket.
Our spring doesn't officially start until summer begins.
Like,
Usually after Mother's Day.
I agree.
After Mother's Day, we're generally safe from snow.
yeah.
Our last snow is usually right around Mother's Day.
I'm surprised that does Denver not get much snow, Denver proper?
No,
I mean, not as much as the mountains. But,
Yeah. I'm surprised there was none.
but it's
and generally the way it works here is
Yeah.
like you'll get a snow, and then we have days of sunshine,
Yeah.
and it can still be below freezing out, but the sunshine melts everything.
Yeah.
Which this year or this winter season has not been the case. We got dumped on, and then
it was
not really much sunshine, and then we started getting like little bits of snow,
Yeah.
and so it just piled up. And like where I live, part of my sidewalk's on the north side of the street, and it's just now starting to completely thaw
Mm-hmm.
because it's been ice, and that's me going out there and trying to chip up as much as I can. And, but we don't have mosquitoes here.
Yeah. I'm sorry, there's probably some nighttime talk in there.
there's nothing we haven't seen. Oh, Christy Adams, she's just. I mean, I want to respect your privacy as well, and so just kind of trying, but it just seems like everything's so intermixed. Like you talk, and then he'll talk about like, and then Annabelle's been taking urgent care, so it's just. It's hard, you know what I mean? It's hard to, because it's so intertwined.
It is, you know?
Within like the whole conversation, yeah.
But I do just, you know, think it's important that he knew and respected and agreed with having that boundary, and, you know, we talk a big game. But
yeah.
For years, you've heard me say, call Patterson Jr., call us today. Call 222-2222. Call us, 222-2222. One of the reasons I say
And when you guys emailed, was it on like a few different emails, or was it?
Just the one. I think he may have sent things to both of my email addresses, just because, like, if he.
You didn't.
I
didn't
think
know if
I
that was like
asked,
his turtle's
and it
name
was
or
like
something. Like,
something he just. I think there was a story about.
So you guys had not known each other. I mean, you didn't go to school together or have
Yep.
any.
It's been quick, but with sometimes I think when you aren't together and you have to just talk for so long, there's a lot that you actually get to know the person a little bit better.
Right.
Because you have to use your words so much more.
Right.
So I wouldn't say I'm an expert by any chance or any stretch of the imagination, but I do. I mean, for me, the confidence to kind of be like, well, I think what I have to share is valuable is just because the snapshots I get between him and his girls, just kind of when I get to just kind of, because I'm at home alone. Both of my kids have graduated and gone on to college, and so I'm like, yeah, I want to do bedtime routine and listen to their day, and you know, they always tell
I
their
keep trying to tell myself that I'm like, I'm gonna miss this, like,
dude, but that's the thing. I'm like, my favorite thing about you is you're so intentional. Like everything that I always said I should do. It's like you do it, and you do it like amazing. Like every night with each individual girl. Like, all right, what was good, what was bad, and then just the, oh, I'm sorry, that must have been hard, and like, you know, just totally helping them carry it, and I don't know. It's like, like I keep saying, like for what I know to be there and this to be there, that's like some,
yeah.
it's a real beyond bipolar kind of intensity of psychological break. I don't know. That doesn't fit at all for me. But.
First of all, the sketching. I had 5,000 questions to start with first. But because of your background in video game world, you create your character starting out with a sketch. I do. Yeah, that's in the house down, I think, to show. So the world starts here. Yes. That's right. That's very different, obviously, than what people would imagine and what probably most writers do. Why is this your weapon of choice? Because we're all weapons. This is one of yours.
Thank you. I'm a very visual thinker, so I find that I have trouble understanding my characters and understanding the new story that I'm writing unless I can see them on paper. I used to work in video games as an artist and a designer, so I tend to visualize it in my head first, and visualize it in my head that first, and I can't do the rest. So this is how I'm
I want to read a little extra about the winter. Yeah. Our character, our pop star, you say in the book, the most famous superstar in the world, the boy everyone talked about, was so beautiful, it was hard to believe he was real. His was a luminous sort of presence that could turn every head on the street. Messy hair, so lushly black.
So you're obviously separated, just it's not final. Is
My
that
husband moved out last January, and so
okay? And is he in Texas still? Is he like part of your practice, or he does something?
he was. I officially ended that at the end of the year. We filed for divorce in November, and then at the first of November, and then.
So is he a dentist or
No, he's been on the business side of it.
Oh, okay. And so that's disconnected as well. Is that finalized? Or is that
The
business side of?
yeah, I had to. So at the end of the year, my personal account had $1 in it. My business savings account had $32, and my business checking account was overdrawn $6,000. And so I was like, I think it's a good time for you to just move on to doing something else. So we had to do a restraining order to get it to actually, which sucks. I don't like I'm like, just because I sat down with him and was like, hey, you want a divorce? We don't need to work together. It's been a year that you haven't lived at this house, so, and he said no. I was like, what do you mean no? I don't want you to work at the business. I've got it covered. I don't need you to come in.
Yeah. And
well, my lawyer told me not to leave the practice and not to get another job. Like, okay, just tell me what payroll you want and I'll pay you. Don't come in. And so anyway, then I had to get a restraining order to make it happen. It's like totally unnecessary. It's kind of embarrassing.
she goes back in the 8th on this day.
that page.
Just finishing my second novel. I still want to do something.
December.
669 pages.
It's not out yet. We'll go online because guess what?
So I'm guessing since you went to A&M, you're from Texas? What part?
Yeah, I grew up in Texas, but I was born in Pennsylvania, and then I grew up outside of Houston,
Okay.
and then went to dental school in San Antonio, and really liked
Texas.
yeah, but I really like that side of Texas because Texas is pretty varied.
Yes.
So I set up my practice kind of north of San Antonio, west of Austin. So sorry. So I've been there, and golly, it's kind of embarrassing. What do you say? I've been there. I guess this will be I'm almost about to have my 19th anniversary of my practice, so it's a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, very old.
At King Supers, we want our fresh produce to meet your expectations. We do up to a 20%
Okay.
inspection.
And because
when it comes to fresh, higher standards mean fresh and produce. King Supers, fresh for everyone.
If you're using your motorcycle, the first thing you do is call me. Coach or the car, good. Hey, Lee Joe, Kirsten from West Shore Home. They're going to find out how West Shore is making shower rapid on them more affordable than cattle. Kirsten, how are you?
So Joe, instead of me telling you to show you,
it's 51 here. It will never warm up.
51. That's pretty warm.
51.
There was like 83 where
in shower in just one time. The best part, we can do a job like this for as low as $99 a month. And here's one more. We started in the morning, and by dinner time, this moment, when people can shower installed. And again, they were able to work this project into the budget with an incredible monthly payment.
And it's low monthly payment to start that project. So much easier. Call the number on your screen right now to start the project. All you do, take advantage of this great offer. West Shore Homes is extending this offer for 1 week only. Call them right now to get your new shower or bath for as low as $99 a month. And they're giving free installation at West Shore Homes. Now,
Get your home ready for furniture. American Furniture Warehouse is spring clearance event. Dining room furniture to fit the entire family is in stock at low prices. It's the best dining room furniture in every size, shape, and color imaginable. American Furniture Warehouse, we do compare quality and everyday low prices for each client online. To browse AFW's massive dining selection, visit our showrooms or shop online at afw.com. Your door is always open, so is the however you shop. It's prices, deals, and rewards. That's the win. Think Supers, fresh for everyone.
I see a lot of people traveling with cats.
weird. I guess I would agree. I've seen that too.
I can't imagine hotels allowing cats. Can't imagine hotels allowing cats. They barely allow dogs. They're gonna allow a cat.
Education system.
Such a spam.
Yeah, I don't answer numbers. I don't know. If they need me bad enough, I'll leave a voicemail and
Yep.
some boxes shouldn't be metal. And then we transition. This is a big thing for working in television and film to the literary world, especially in such a powerful way. What was the moment that compelled you to write? I mentioned to the audience you're a former educator.
Is everything budding in Texas right now?
Yeah,
Is
there's
everything-
color and
Is there
All
all
that's
the
happening.
vehicles covered in pollen? Yes.
Gosh, we went.
I don't miss that part of life.
Well, there was pollen, and I didn't think we were at like a local high school, and we were just, my son was doing whatever on the turf, and so my other kid and I just walked over, and we were on like the, you know, like the pole vaulting,
Mats.
like the cushions that they fall on, and so she just like sat on it, and then she like jumped up to like jump on it, right? And then she fell down, and then she's like, "Oh," like, you know, she's sneezing, and I mean, it is. She is covered in pollen, and I'm like, I didn't even know that there like was pollen here, and it was like in the middle of, but it's like in the middle of at Legend High School, so it was like not.
it's tree covered or anything.
Right, and so I was
That's
like,
weird.
I don't know if they were just like old and had been there for like years and nobody. It was just like, this is.
Yeah, down. I remember when I lived down south. About this time of year, my green truck or my black truck would be green. It's just covered
How do allergies work down there?
Badly.
badly.
Yeah. Lots of. Where I am now, it's all cedar. It's like terrible to people.
I used to bounce around between the different allergy medicines.
Do you want me to just send you the file?
Well, I know, but I don't. If something's missing, you know what I mean? Like, see, it's like, okay, I'll just, and then.
Here to develop each of those areas for this traits. Was there a character which is related to girls?
All the characters are amalgamations of kids that I've sold. All of them are JP was the first character I wrote. So I think
I mean, can you send me that file too? Just.
I don't even know how you're going to answer this question, but I would you have seen news.
fortunately, because I have a format,
Maybe it formats. I mean, I just want to outline, you know, I mean, and see. I mean, he talked to us, but it's not, like, there's no back story on their relationship.
You're going to stop and think about how we see
So if
and the consequences of when we see people in the wrong way.
the two of them are going through, right?
Thank you to the On the next camera, Swarm is the new Amazon horror series getting a ton of Hollywood Swarm stars. Dominic Fishback joins the tandem. This is Peloton's Family Love on her new gig, Next Tamron Hall. Tomorrow. For those that forge their own path and embrace their next, and that help all access this reinvented way to fit your lifestyle. Today, you will find your purpose anytime, anywhere.
Yeah, I feel like he would have to be the one to fill in the gaps on who would have known about her previous suicide attempts. Seems like without his detail on that, yeah. Or, I don't know, Brandon McElroy could say, well, this was who was in this group. On that situation, but
Brandon's the bishop, right?
I think so, yeah.
Who protects yours? Levine Law. Heard of the scene? Call 333-333-8000.
You. Just give me. Like, I just want to scroll and then like take this snipper. Like this. This makes sense. Like,
Hopefully.
like, and then like I just. It's gonna be.
Some of the sports surgeons use micro-laser technology to safely target and remove your trauma-resistant macro.
This is much faster.
Stomach, back, chin, and more. I've seen such dramatic results. My tummy is gone, my double chin is gone, and my hourglass shape is back. This was the mommy makeover that I deserved. Schedule your free no-obligation consultation and find out how you can get $250 off instantly. Call 1-800-755-2331 or go to sonobello.com.
I was driving through an intersection and someone crashed into me and I was left with neck and upper back injuries. I'd been in a wreck before, so I knew who I was going to call. Frank Hazel. He really does care about his audience because he cares about me. He took care of me and he took care of my family.
If you give a child a book, new world to discover. Magic becomes reality. And dreams take flight. When you give a child a book, you can see what's possible. Go to devastator.com. After a car accident, insurance companies use social media posts against you to protect their own financial interests. But who protects yours? Levine Law. Heard of the scene? Call 303-333-8000.
Denver City is committed to helping Coloradans in need.
It's much faster.
Military ways and it talks all about growing up in low-income housing and watching my parents and yeah. So if you're watching, if you're free of the show, just give me a call to help with your girl because I need to get this book out, right? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so I had no idea, but Dean handed me these books. So that video we just watched, that was posted on TikTok to get my attention. Well, Xander, you have my attention. There you have it. My team found Xander's book. This is Xander's book in my hand. I'm going to make sure everyone goes to TammyHallShow.com. Check the books out. My dad was in the army for 30 years. Xander's a military law. Thank you to your family and your service. Congratulations. Okay, now, Xander put that request on TikTok. Don't start putting requests up, because I can't fulfill everything. People like to do this, even that difficult. It took me a long time to finally write my book.
Try to take a picture of the TV and it's just all the.
No, these actually don't do too bad.
And letting people know about it. So they took their story to TikTok. And love this story. Take a look at the journey.
It's supposed to just be like a couple of hours, but I ended up listening back to my house is longer than driving from Dallas to my house.
But your car is at
My college at the Austin.
at Austin.
Well, I guess at least your drive won't be during Dallas rush hour.
I mean, I was landing at like, I don't know, midnight or but home at 9 p.m. Hopefully this is worth it. Hopefully it sheds some light on something that's right and gets them out.
Right. That's my goal. I mean, really, I mean, not.
That would.
I mean, my goal is to
for
find the truth,
kids,
right?
that
I mean,
would be,
not my
yeah,
goal.
We would definitely hope that's the truth because.
14 years I watched
Gosh, I just. A lot of prayers for those kids.
Mm-hmm.
Can't imagine. Because I guess if, you know, if it's not, if he stays in jail, then that means on top of all of this moving and living with other people in new places, I can imagine. Hope they get him back.
Is he walking around the house a bit different now? I mean, like, has he changed since all this space came his way?
He still has to load the dishwasher. He is the sweetest guy. He is, if anything's like more humble by this, and he's just trying to give back to our community and everything. It's actually been like really keeping me more like blessing than
You've been doing this for a long time, and you didn't see this coming. To have your work appreciated, I know things. What's your advice, especially when it comes to not giving up?
I just say, keep
Almost there.
no matter what. Don't be discouraged. There's lots of barricades, barriers of publishing. But just believe in yourself.
On top of all of that, man. Thank you so much for joining us.
My tip is, the worst lies are the lies you tell yourself. And smoking isn't that dangerous. You can quit it for your health. Call 1-800-QUIT.
Take protection as number one success. You can trust it for the patients or terminal. Plus, its limited flavor is number one success. And it's common in dogs with a history of seizures or neurologic disorders. Ask your vet about marijuana. Well, we gotta be getting to the day.
To where?
The last day.
What happened?
I hit the button and it scrolled all the way to the bottom. And I think I started taking pictures on Wednesday. Right here. Yep, there's not much.
Jacuzzi is the best known name in water therapy. Did you know that we are the exclusive jacuzzi bathroom model for the whole state? You want a hassle-free experience for the first time? Like you want for a genetic system, you can get the authentic jacuzzi bath system oftentimes for thousands less than the generic systems you see advertised daily. For a limited time, set up a consultation today. Take advantage of our home show pricing. 50% off installation with 0 interest
Alright, boom. Alright, but you are right. Okay. 4 minutes. We'll try to go to that apartment complex. I guess I'm just gonna try to verify that and try to reach out to those people. Brandon, see what we can find out. Go from there. I mean, you have my number.
Okay.
Give me a call if you can think of anything else.
Okay.
Okay, I appreciate
Alright.
meeting with me.
Yeah.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, and then anything
Okay,
else, let me know.
looking into all the
Yeah, I mean,
possibilities.
you know, if he's not responsible, then by all means, I want to know that. So, yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a safe flight.
Thank you.
In contact.